Hello everyone. In this video, I will discuss one of the film called Desierto 2015. And never forget that I always pray for you and your family to be happy and healthy always. When the movie begins, we are immediately directed to a group of illegal Mexican immigrants who are being carried in a car. The car they were traveling in broke down shortly after crossing the border into the United States. In this urgent situation, one of the immigrants named Moises volunteered to check the engine, but in fact the damage experienced by the car was not ordinary. As a result, all immigrants had to walk together with two guards. Besides that, the immigrants were unaware that there was a man hunting in the desert, a man named Sam, who was hunting with his favorite dog in the border area of the United States. As time passed, the wind grew stronger, and the immigrants had to walk without really knowing what was ahead. Whereas in all the many activities of escorting immigrants, the guard had never once taken the route on foot. Yes, you could say that without that experience, disaster would soon arrive, especially when one of the immigrants started flirting with a woman. Unfortunately, Sam's presence didn't raise much suspicion from the local sheriff. The sheriff questioned why Sam needed to be in this area, but Sam was still allowed to wander around the border area despite their arguments. Yes, from there it started to get darker, and the immigrants began to split into two groups. Among them were the guards group, who walked much faster, and Moises's group, who walked much slower. Along with four other people, Moises was completely left behind by the immigrants who were in front. But fortunately, with the lag, they were able to realize the existence of a car that was not invited at all. And as it turned out, the car was actually following the immigrants, who were already ahead. Unfortunately, what was about to happen was not realized by the group. They continued walking without knowing what Sam and his dog would do. With a gun at the ready, Moises and the other four immigrants could only watch as they hid. With a hail of bullets, the catastrophe had to begin with the fall of one of the immigrants, and with the shock of the incident, they immediately realized that someone was shooting at them from a distance. Sam really put himself out there as if he were shooting practice, but instead of inanimate objects that were used as objects, he made humans who only had one life, and as a result, in just a few minutes, the entire group of immigrants who walked ahead were killed in an instant. Not enough to stop there. After killing them all, the hunting dog detected the movement of other immigrants, which inevitably caused Moises and his friends to immediately run as fast as possible. They were determined to go to a higher area to avoid the hunter's reach. This effort was really done as much as possible, even though both legs could no longer support it. But unfortunately, Sam's dogs continued to hunt them, to the point that an immigrant had to be preyed upon alive. Yes, there was not much that could be done by the victim who died this time, the flirtatious person who had seduced the female immigrant. On the other hand, those who remained continued to avoid it by taking the most difficult route. Initially, this method was very effective in avoiding the pursuit of hunting dogs, but still, one immigrant had to fall back after being shot by Sam from a distance. Long story short, this time only 3 people survived. They are Moises, Adela, and Mecus, while Sam and his dog still intend to look for the whereabouts of the 3 of them, wanted to go into the cliff area, even though Sam still insists on looking and hunting. In the end, Mecus accidentally fell from a height, and he had to suffer serious injuries. His inability to move also made Mecus unable to do much. He had to be approached by the hunting dog and torn apart like prey. It's not enough that Mecus was also shot right in the eyes. It's just that at that moment a noise had to emerge from a doll that Moises was under in his bag. But luckily Sam didn't respond too much, and he told his dog to hunt again the next day. To be honest, with the time that continues to run, Moises and Adela don't have much hope. They must continue to avoid Sam's ambush, which could come suddenly, especially since this area itself is his territory. And sure enough, it didn't take long for the dog to start smelling immigrants again. The hunt continues, and the moment is immediately utilized by Moises to seize Sam's car. They both do not want to lose the opportunity and hope that this decision is the best choice. While the dog can only rebel, Moises and Adela, who were already in the car, were much cleverer, and they managed to escape in a matter of seconds, while the hunting dog had to stop because the distance was too great to catch up. Clearly, the feeling of happiness and pride is truly felt by the 2 immigrants. They think that the decision taken is very precise and accurate. But who would have thought that at that moment, Adela would suddenly be shot? The shot also made Moises lose control, and the car just crashed. Here, Sam and his dog immediately chased as fast as possible, where Moises unwittingly managed to escape while carrying Adela, and with this position indirectly, they all became balanced. Sam, who had previously continued to chase by driving a car, can now only walk. But unfortunately, the threat was getting worse for Moises and Adela, and fortunately, in an urgent situation, Moises also found a flare gun in the car. From there, he immediately rushed to go to a higher area, even though he had to leave Adela alone. But most importantly, the effort was not in vain. Moises managed to lure the hunting dog to him so that Adela's whereabouts remained safe. Sam can only follow the trail and direction of the dog's departure, while Moises must continue to run into a collection of cactus. The existence of so many cactus trees makes it very difficult for Sam to detect Moises's movements, especially since Moises was also desperate to break into a narrower area, and as a result, at the end of his escape, he managed to kill the hunting dog. No kidding. Sam, who heard the dog's screams, could only be shocked in an instant. He could not believe that his dog was already dead in a charred state. From here, Moises accidentally began to see a car that was passing in the area. But it's unfortunate that the driver didn't realize Moises's existence, despite being shouted at repeatedly. For the umpteenth time, Moises must again avoid Sam's pursuit. Of the many people who fell, Sam still felt dissatisfied. He felt that Moises was the key prey in this hunt, and must be made dead in the freshest state. Yes, that thought also made Sam continue to pursue relentlessly. He did not hesitate to follow every step of Moises, who was only a few meters adrift. But the great thing was that Moises no longer relied on energy to avoid. He actually used his brain more, to the point that Sam was confused himself. And when the right moment had arrived, Moises appeared, which led to the two of them having to fall from a height. Fortunately, Sam's weapon was grabbed quickly, where Sam could not do anything and was forced to beg for mercy. Seeing Sam, who was already very badly injured, Moises immediately made a decision. He deliberately left the man without helping him at all. Because for Moses, torturing someone slowly will be much more painful than killing him in an instant. That means Sam has to be tortured in his own territory, while Moises and Adela manage to survive. The movie ended with the appearance of passing vehicles on the highway. And what do you think? Hopefully you are satisfied with the storyline of this movie, which tells the struggle of immigrants who are hunted by someone at the border. And that's it for the story series of this film. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support this channel by subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. Goodbye.